Hello you volunteer, welcome to Sunday of Embarrassing Stories Week. I am rounding off the week, I guess. Coming up with some stuff to tell for this was actually quite hard because surprisingly I embarrass myself a lot, but they're all like really small things. But even then, I don't get that embarrassed anymore, which is kind of strange because I used to get really embarrassed because I was really shy. But now it's just kind of like, whoa, whatever. I'm gonna tell a couple things from my childhood when I was much smaller. I wasn't like this tall, I was like down here, like you can't even see how short I was. I was very short. So the first little story that I'm gonna tell you. Oh, someone just honked. I was in kindergarten and it was the last day before the holidays and our school was having like a assembly type thing. Like the school's like 4th/5th grade band would like play songs and it was one of those lame things, and I don't like asking for things and I never have, and that's probably gonna be my downfall. But so it was like midway through this and I'm like, oh man, I really gotta go to the bathroom. And I'm just like freaking out, I'm like panicking, not really panicking, but I was like in my small little brain at the time, I was like, what am I gonna do? I was trying to figure out, okay, how long is this gonna be when we're going back to the classroom, because we were in the gym. I was like, okay, when we're going back to the classroom I can just book it. Well, not book it, because in kindergarten, book it wasn't a phrase. But I was like, okay, I'll just go to the bathroom like on the way back, and it's like time went on and I couldn't hold it anymore. So kindergarten, peed myself on the school gym floor. And you know, that was pretty embarrassing, not gonna lie. Like, peeing yourself is never a fun time. The other one I'm gonna say is not so much it was embarrassing as at the time. I just got a text. It wasn't really embarrassing at the time, it was more traumatizing. But now it's embarrassing because my parents like to bring it up all the time. And it's like, oh, well, thanks. This was 2001. So I was what, 5? So I have an older brother, so he had a bunch of Brio, which was like those wooden train sets that were like for little kids, which, you know, were pretty cool. Really expensive apparently, well, it is wood. But regardless, we had a giant bucket that was like, probably about this big. I can't really say how big it actually was because I was much smaller at this time. But basically it was a decent sized bucket, and for some reason I decided I would get in it. Like, all the Brio was out. I don't know where it was, but I decided I would get in it. And then I got stuck. As I'm stuck in this bucket in the dining room with my parents at the dinner table, I was like, oh man, I started crying. And then of course, naturally, my dad got the Polaroid camera and took pictures, or a picture, and I have it right now. Just take that in. That was probably the most, no, not the most, but one of the more traumatizing events in my childhood that kind of shaped who I am today. But it wasn't embarrassing at the time, it's just now it's embarrassing as I'm older because my parents like to bring it up, like, oh, remember that time you got stuck in the bucket? It's like, yes, I know, I cried. This right now ends Embarrassing Stories Week. How exciting. I hope you all learn some stuff about not being embarrassed, or not being embarrassed, or